afternoon. Bob Lorenz, Jeff Nelson, and Meredith Marakovitz with you. Both of these teams coming in at 1-3 so far this spring. And Nelly, some interesting sub-stories, and that's Austin Wells making his first start of the spring. And when Paul Goldschmidt looks at the field and towards the dugouts, he's looking at the team he played for 5 seasons.
Yeah, he was a former Cardinal, and that's something special when you face your old team. You know, I was in Seattle and New York and back and forth, and you're facing the same guys. A little bit different as a pitcher because you're facing the hitters that kind of want to take you deep. And with Goldschmidt, most of his friends are probably the position players. Nolan Arenado on the other side. He was such a great Cardinal, great Diamondback. And you mentioned Austin Wells. A little bit different spring for him because he's coming in as a non-platoon situation. He's the main guy. You know, we talked a little bit before the broadcast, before the game. Probably 130 games, I would think, out of him with the 32 days off, and that's not including some of the off days during the year. You could see someone like an Austin Wells hit about 20-25 homers. The power numbers should go up just because he could be that he's going to be that everyday guy.
You see the reunion between Paul Goldschmidt and some of his former teammates, and one of his good buddies on that other side. You mentioned Nolan Arenado. He was a big storyline this offseason. Would they trade him or wouldn't they? They actually had a deal in place with the Houston Astros. He was able to decline the trade. Arenado was at the time, and then they didn't find a suitable fit after that.
Yeah, I mean, this is what players earn when they play so many years, is that no trade clause in their contract, and they get to decide if a team decides to trade him. The St. Louis Cardinals wanted to try to move him. He said no. Who knows what's going to happen? You hear all these rumors about that the Astros have re-engaged talks with St. Louis about Arenado. St. Louis 83-79 last year. They were second, tied with the Cubs. They're in the Central Division. A little bit disappointing season. I would think you expect there's a team like St. Louis, they should compete and possibly win the division every year, and it just didn't happen. They fell 10 games back from Milwaukee.
Will Warren taking them out for the Yankees today. Here is the starting lineup that he will face, brought to you by Sandals, made of Caribbean. Mason Wynn will lead off playing short. It's Brendan Donovan batting second, followed by Jordan Walker, Nolan Arenado, Ivan Herrera, Lucan Baker, Thomas Saggese, Matt Kaparniak, and Michael Ciani in center field and batting ninth. A lot of youth in that Cardinals lineup. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But another young guy who's garnered a lot of attention for the Yankees throughout their minor leagues is Will Warren. And on Warren, let's check out the Hyundai Pitcher Scouting Report.
Yeah, you see the numbers there. That was the cup of coffee that he had last year. 6 ball games, 5 of those were starts. The 33 hits in 22 2/3 innings. ERA was high. He's got a better idea, I think, coming into spring training just because of that cup of coffee about what he needs to do as far as having success. Better fastball command, utilizing his slider a little bit better. He has swing and miss stuff. He had the 29 strikeouts in those 22 2/3. Fastball not overpowering, so that's what I mean about command. 93-94, good slider, good change, and he throws a cutter.
Let's take a look at the Yankees lineup that will go to work behind Will Warren this afternoon. From left to right are Yankees defense. Jason Dominguez in left, Cody Bellinger in center, and Pablo Reyes out in right. It's Oswald Peraza at third base, Anthony Volpe at short, Jazz Chisholm Jr. at second, Paul Goldschmidt at first, and Austin Wells, again, his first start this spring behind the plate. We're set for first pitch here in Tampa. Yankees versus the Cardinals, and we're glad you're with us on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. And Warren right down the pipe for a first pitch strike.
Yeah, Mason Wynn, really good year last year. That was his second season, well, first full season. He had 11 stolen bases, a lot of speed for the Cardinals at the top of that lineup.
You know, the Cardinals are an interesting team, and Nelly, the lineup that we saw today might not be the regular opening day lineup and starting lineup, but they have 5 players in this lineup that are 23 years or younger.
Yeah, it's a good young team, and you put Arenado in there, and also Wilson Contreras. Wilson Contreras may not be behind the plate most of the time. Herrera, who's catching today, is a really good catcher. I've seen Wilson Contreras at first base. That might be a better slot for him. Maybe keep him healthy. He only played in 80-some ball games last year for the Cardinals. Him as a healthy player in a full year, maybe you see the Cardinals back at the top slot.
Good hard four-seamer inside there by Will Warren to strike out Wynn and start things off with a K.
We talked about the fastball command, and this is an excellent four-seamer. You can see that ride. And even sometimes when you throw two-seamer or four-seamer, it's just a release point. You may still get that same movement. That was a really nasty pitch right there to Win.
Brings up Brendan Donovan, coming off a season in which he had 14 homers and 79 runs batted in. Breaking ball in for a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, they call that a sweeper. It almost looks more like a breaking ball, like a curve ball, the depth that it has on it.
Goes back to off speed and misses, 2-1. One thing you notice about Warren, maybe because he's so used to the pitch clock in the minors as it relates now to the majors, works pretty efficiently.
Yeah, he does, and then infielders like that and outfielders like that as well. I mean, when you have a guy that gets right on top of that rubber and he's ready to go, you'll find the infielders back on their heels too often, and even the outfielders will get a lot better defensive play behind you when that happens.
Evens the count at 2-2. Warren's name has been on the radar of the Yankees and their fans for a few seasons as he induces a ground ball off the bat of Donovan. Goldschmidt fields onto the bag, 2 away. And for Warren now, it's that next step, right? Trying to have that lasting impact and stay up with a major league team and contribute however he can as a starter maybe in some way, or certainly filling into the bullpen.
Right, and I probably see him more as a starter, and he probably knows that with the rotation that the Yankees already have, there's not a whole lot of room unless there's some sort of injury. And last year he had that cup of coffee. I think he comes to spring a better idea of what he needs to do. A lot of it is that right there is the fastball command. And just be ready when his name is called.
Well, starts a first pitch strike to Jordan Walker. Walker, as you saw, just 51 games last season. They're trying to get him consistent reps, but also trying to figure out where he fits in that Cardinals defensive situation. Again, Warren, the 8th round pick in 2021 out of southeastern Louisiana, trying to make quick work of Walker here. Almost gets him to at least do a half swing, but he holds up 1-2.
Yeah, they messed with Walker a little bit. I mean, he was having a couple years ago, he was having such a great year. He's 22, 23 years old, young player, super athlete, and he wound up in the beginning of the year sending him down. He made the team. They sent him down. Now, I think he was hitting over 300. It really messes with you. And then they start asking him, hey, you got to hit with more power. Or, he was hitting for average. We want to see more power. They changed his swing. It started going haywire. And that really messes with a player when you're having success at the big league level. And then he winds up going back to the way that he was before. Only 50-some games last year. There you see the numbers of his second major league season. He's just a tremendous athlete. They just need to leave him alone, let him play, let him have that everyday right field slot, and you're going to get some good numbers out of him.
Payoff pitch from Will Warren to Walker. And right on the outside with a sweeper. Beautiful pitch. Couple strikeouts here in the top of the first for Will Warren. Yankees first at bats coming up next.
A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal. With a cheeseburger or 3-piece chicken strips, full-size fries, a drink, and a sundae. You get an honest-to-goodness full meal all for just $7 at DQ.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western.
I was deployed overseas and it really impacted my liver health. I was missing family moments because I just couldn't find the energy. It turns out that Dose for Your Liver was the change that I needed. It doesn't even feel like I'm taking a supplement because it tastes so good. My wife is asking me where all this energy is coming from. I went from dreading to get out of bed to jumping out of bed.
Bottom of the first in Tampa as the Yankees get set for their first swings against the Cardinals. Let's take a look at today's starting lineup for the Yankees. Brought to you by Sandals, made of Caribbean. Jazz Chisholm Jr. starts at leadoff spot at second base. Jason Dominguez follows, followed by Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt, Austin Wells. His first start of the spring, followed by his buddy Anthony Volpe. Dominic Smith will DH today. Pablo Reyes is out in right field, and Oswald Peraza is at third base. They'll be facing Michael McGreevy, a right-hander for the Cardinals. Got in 4 games last year, called up a couple times. Finally in September for the rest of the season. Let's take a look at the Hyundai pitcher scouting report on McGreevy.
Oh, you saw the numbers, small amount, 3-0, had really good numbers in the 4 games, a 1.96 ERA. 3 of those were starts. 1 of 5. Will he be able to be in this rotation? You have Gray, Fetty, you have Nicholas Palante, also Steven Matz. There's been some rumors with Fetty about him being moved possibly, and he's a sinker slider guy. Another one just like Will Warren that doesn't have an overpowering fastball. 91, 92, good slider and a cutter and a changeup.
Foul ball by Jazz, evens the count at 1-1. Yankees are looking for a lot of production from the leadoff spot. Again, just 4 games into the spring. No idea yet who it could be. Dominguez, could it be Jazz? Could it be a Bellinger even, or a Volpe? But that's what spring training is for Aaron Boone and his staff to figure that out.
Right, it'll be interesting how they see a leadoff hitter. You know, what is their role? What do they think that leadoff hitter needs to be? You know, someone that takes pitches. You see Jazz. He doesn't really take a lot of pitches in the leadoff spot. He likes to hack. Anthony Volpe's a young player.
And looks at that little sinker and knows that that's a commit and a strikeout to lead things off here for the Yankees.
Well, there you see Herrera, the catcher, and where he sets up and how much that two-seam fastball moves from McGreevy. That's a nasty pitch. And a left-handed hitter really gives up on that pitch because it starts inside and you're thinking, okay, that's a ball. Next thing you know, it either scratches that inside edge or right there, right down the middle.
That'll bring up Jason Dominguez, who looks at ball 1 outside.
I mean, Dominguez is a guy that takes a lot of pitches. You know, you would love to have speed. I think Brett Gardner was the last true leadoff hitter that the Yankees really have had as far as speed at the top of that lineup. Dominguez is a guy you're probably not going to see a lot of stolen bases out of. Jazz Chisholm, you will. I think he's a 25-30, maybe a 30-30 guy in the future, maybe this year for the Yankees. And even Anthony Volpe, another guy with speed.
Chopper back up the middle. Handled by Wynn on the first 2 away. Dominguez in the leadoff spot is interesting because the sort of the conversation that we had all off season, would you hand a rookie with so little experience the keys to that leadoff spot and just say, you're there, go, it's your spot? Because, you know, if you're 20-30 games in and nothing's happening out of that leadoff spot, you might have a decision to make.
Well, look at Anthony Volpe last year. You know, they moved him up. I thought that was a good slot for him. He really struggled leading off. Some guys are just not comfortable in that leadoff slot. You know, it takes one of those players that are good with hitting with 2 strikes, able to work the count. You want to let everybody know behind you in that lineup what that pitcher features today. And for a young player, a lot of times they get too aggressive. And they're trying to set the table for everyone else, and it just doesn't work out. You almost need that veteran, and Jazz Chisholm would be that veteran player at the top of the lineup. It's just a matter of, can he be patient enough to be the #1 guy?
Cody Bellinger quickly behind 0-2 against McGreevy. They try to go up top and miss 1-2.
McGreevy sounds like one of those food items in a McDonald's menu. They have a McGreevy, a large fry, and a vanilla milkshake, please.
How does that McGreevy go down? Is it go down, you got to wash it down with the milkshake?
Smooth.
It's going pretty smooth. 1-2 to Bellinger, and stays alive. Just chucks that one foul.
That's what you call an emergency hack. Uh-oh, here's slider strike. Let me try to get a piece.
As long as the emergency hack makes contact,
yes,
that's the key. Gets you at least one more pitch. As another 1-2 coming Bellinger's way. And goes down and golfs that one out to center field. Ciani is there, and now we'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the first. We head to the top of the second on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Adventure bigger in the all-new Nissan Armada.
That was fun.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a load, take a load.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western.
I never realized how much my lifestyle was affecting my liver health. I was looking for extra support, so I tried Dose for Your Liver.
Honestly, I was surprised at how good it tastes. I had to stop myself from drinking the whole bottle. I'm not feeling sluggish anymore, my digestion is smoother. Doing anything after 5 p.m. felt like a second job for me. Now, I look forward to cooking with my family, going out on a date night. My wife was so impressed with my results, she's taking it now too. I'd tell anyone who's looking to prioritize their liver health to see if Dose could help them like it helped me.
A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal with your choice of all this for just $7. Because a full-size meal without that satisfying sweet treat, that's like chicken strips with no dip, like a burger with no bun, like a sundae with no drizzle. Whether you go for chicken strips or a cheeseburger, treat yourself to an honest-to-goodness meal with full-size fries, a drink, and dessert. All
Yankee Spring Training on Yes is brought to you in part by Sandals, made of Caribbean. By Popeyes. Love that chicken from Popeyes. By the Tuttle to Towers Foundation. Help America's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. And by Hyundai. With a brand new Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. Great to have you back at the top half of the second. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters against Will Warren. For the Cardinals leading off, Nolan Arenado. Scoreless, no hits on the Ford scoreboard. 1, 2, 3 innings in the top of the first for both Will Warren and McGreevy. And for Arenado, again, their attempts to trade him in the offseason didn't bear fruit. They thought they had a deal in place with the Astros, but he nixed that deal. And now just says, Nelly, he's ready to go as he strikes out. Just ready to go, ready to play baseball and put all that behind him. But again, his name will come up at least throughout the spring if there's another team that might be able to use him or at the trade deadline.
Right, and this is a really good fastball from Warren. After a good slider down and away, he comes and climbs the ladder. And Arenado last year really had a down year. His power numbers, 16 homers, 71 RBIs. He played in 152 games. He had a stretch there of 3 years where he had 25 more home runs, almost 100 RBIs in each one of those seasons. And, you know, with the Goldschmidt that was down, you had Wilson Contreras that was down, and an Arenado. That's probably one of the reasons why that they didn't do very well last year and finished 10 games out. But having the no trade clause, I mean, you look at players that have their names in the wintertime spread throughout the trade rumor mill and also going into spring training. It tends to affect them because you don't know where you're going to be. You don't know when that phone rings and all of a sudden you see the GM's name on your phone. You're like, oh, where am I going now? But at least when you have a no trade clause, you can kind of relax a little bit and say, hey, I can pretty much say where I want to go and don't want to go.
So they were hoping to clear some salary by dealing Arenado. They did that by letting Paul Goldschmidt walk, Andrew Kittredge out of the back end of the bullpen as well, as Warren deals a 2-1 pitch. It didn't look like Herrera loved that one, but 2-2. But they weren't able to do it, though they did clear some salary. They didn't clear Arenado. So is it a rebuild? Is it a reset? What do you see for the Cardinals as Herrera swings and strikes out? That's 4 strikeouts for Will Warren.
Well, with the Cardinals finishing in second, this is another really good pitch. Another fastball upstairs. He's done a really nice job of changing the eye level, and that's what you also want to do as a pitcher is get him to look down. You have that sweeper down. You have the changeup down. He has a good sinking fastball. When it's not overpowering, when it's up in the zone, that four-seamer, even though it's 92, 93, and occasional 94, sometimes that'll get on top of you, almost like a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
You know, impressive, too. He battled back from 2-0. 3 straight strikes to get his 4th strikeout of the game. Luken Baker playing first base today is up with 2 away. But quickly to your point about the Cardinals, 83-79 last year, missed the playoffs again by 6 games.
Right, and if you get if you keep Arenado the whole entire year and you don't trade him during the spring, you get a healthy Contreras, and even though Goldschmidt's not there, maybe Walker winds up putting together some really good numbers. Just leave him alone, let him play. You have Winn at shortstop's a really good player. There you see some of the notable departures. Lance Lynn was no longer there. Kyle Gibson. I think their rotation is still really good, especially with McGreevy here. If he could put something together, even though it was a short time, had some real good success. You have Gray, Sonny Gray there, and Fetty.
Baker loops one out to center. That's a nice read and a nice play by Bellinger in center for another 1-2-3 inning for the Yankees and Will Warren. Scoreless as we head to the bottom of the second in Tampa.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a load off it. Take a load for free.
Today we went to the beach, and it was
Put the load right on me.
totally worth it. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western.
I was deployed overseas and it really impacted my liver health. I was missing family moments because I just couldn't find the energy. It turns out that Dose for Your Liver was the change that I needed. It doesn't even feel like I'm taking a supplement because it tastes so good. My wife is asking me where all this energy is coming from. I went from dreading to get out of bed to jumping out of bed. I'm back in the stands, cheering my daughter on, and my culture is full of so many yummy foods that I'm just really glad I can enjoy those with my family again. Nothing's more important to me than showing up for my family, and Dose helps me do just that.
Fair.
Told you he'd know the best spot.
Adventure bigger in the all-new Nissan Armada.
Welcome back. Bottom of the second. Paul Goldschmidt leading things off here in the bottom of the second for the Yankees. Batting cleanup today. Swings and a foul ball. Meredith Barakovitz had the chance to catch up with him earlier. Goldschmidt, your interview of the day brought to you by your local Ford stores.
Well, I saw you catching up with some members of your former club. 6 years with the Cardinals. What's it like just seeing them here early in spring?
Selfishly, it's kind of nice to get to say hi to everyone before, the regular season starts, even before the game starts today. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of those guys I knew for a long time, very good friends with, and it'll be fun. We'll go out there and compete against them, but, kind of good to get it out of the way a little bit.
How do you sum up your time with the Cardinals?
I mean, I loved it there. I got nothing bad to say about the organization. The fans were amazing. Everything was great. I mean, we have high expectations there like we do here in New York. We wanted to win the World Series and we didn't do it, so that will stick with me as the disappointment, but so many great memories and just a great time.
At your first press conference here at George and Steinbrenner Field, you had talked about the second half of the season and how you regained confidence, really found something. How have you been able to kind of continue that here in this one?
Yeah, it was nice coming in the spring in a lot better spot and just, kind of more fine-tuning my swing versus being like, man, I got to make a bigger change. So that was my whole goal this offseason, was just really just the basic fundamentals of the swing. If I can do those, I'll have a chance every time I step in the box. I know there's still going to be ups and downs, but getting there and, my confidence will be high. But once the season starts, confidence is good, but we got to go out there and perform, and that's where the focus is.
Anything else you're focused on this spring?
Yeah, everything. But, definitely defense, I would say. Continue to work, but getting to know the other infielders as well. That's just been, something new, just how they throw the ball and, pickoffs from pitchers, stuff like that. But mostly just getting to know everyone and being ready to go.
Appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Send it back to you guys.
Meredith, thank you. Goldschmidt rounding out to second base for the first out here in the bottom of the second. First pitch swinging from Austin Wells as he sends one to deep left center, and he's hoping that's a sign of things to come. Get a little more flight on that ball and get it over the wall.
Yeah, that ball carried. It was a slider down, and he had hit the ball well to center field.
Brings up Anthony Volpe. 1-2 pitch coming up from McGreevy. Both McGreevy and Warren working very quickly in this game. Misses away with a slider. 2-2.
Goldschmidt's an outstanding first baseman. This is 15th season, 14 big league seasons. 4 Gold Gloves, outstanding over there at first, and like he mentioned, just getting used to a whole new infield, how the ball, how the ball is coming over from the third base. Is it have a lot of sink, say from either Peraza or Cabrera or LeMahieu, even Jazz? How are the guys turning double plays? And what I like in that first inning, where you saw a first baseman actually, as soon as he fields it, he's got the bag. If he can get it and get to the bag quicker than the pitcher, that makes it so much easier for a pitcher. You know, you're taught. I mean, you're PFP every single day in spring training about covering first base. But when you know you have a first baseman over there that thinks, okay, I want to leave the pitcher out of every play, or as many as I can, you still bust it over there, but it's a little bit easier when you have someone like Goldschmidt over there.
3-2 pitch. And Volpe looks at a called strike, doesn't agree with it, not going to argue it. So another 1-2-3 inning as we head to the top of the third.
Take a load off it. Take a load for free.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western.
I was deployed overseas and it really impacted my liver health. I was missing family moments because I just couldn't find the energy. It turns out that Dose for Your Liver was the change that I needed. It doesn't even feel like I'm taking a supplement because it tastes so good. My wife is asking me where all this energy is coming from. I went from dreading to get out of bed to jumping out of bed. I'm back in the stands, cheering my daughter on, and my culture is full of so many yummy foods that I'm just really glad I can enjoy those with my family again. Nothing's more important to me than showing up for my family, and Dose helps me do just that.
A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal with your choice of all this for just $7. Because a full-size meal without that satisfying sweet treat, that's like chicken strips with no dip, like a burger with no bun, like a sundae with no drizzle. Whether you go for chicken strips or a cheeseburger, treat yourself to an honest-to-goodness meal with full-size fries, a drink, and dessert, all for just $7 a DQ.
At Spectrum, we believe every day unlocks unlimited possibilities. Spectrum transforms your gaming experience into a galaxy of adventures. And with super reliable internet speeds, you're always front row to the entertainment you love. Switch to Spectrum Internet today.
Yes app has moved and is only available on the Gotham Sports app.
Top of the third on the Montefiore Einstein scoreboard, and that's Thomas Sajaci. First pitch swinging off Will Warren. Fly ball to right, one away. Warren working very efficiently. I mentioned that, Nelly. 28 pitches, 18 strikes so far, and 4 strikeouts in 2 innings.
And this is what you see in spring training. And it's the hitters. They're all over first pitch fastballs, and it's really tough. It's almost like 3 different seasons if you're a pitcher. You're going into spring training and you know hitters are jumping all over first pitch fastballs. That's all they want to see. They don't want to get into breaking ball counts. You really have to, as a pitcher, have command or even pitch backwards in spring. And then during the season, they start getting a little bit more selective. I mean, as a pitcher, you can set them up a little bit more, and then you have the postseason is totally different as well. Spring training sometimes really tough to pitch, especially if you're a guy that, hey, I'm a first pitch fastball guy. I want to get ahead right away when you know these guys are jumping all over that.
Matt Koperniak is the 8th batter for the Cardinals today. And Warren tries to drop a changeup in there. Doesn't offer at it, 2-1. Warren has showed a good mix of pitches so far, really trying to work that changeup in certain spots.
Yeah, which is important against a lefty, especially when you have that 2-seam fastball coming in at 93. You drop the changeup around the mid-70s and take some, you like to see about 10 miles an hour off of your fastball, get that sink down and away, and then you throw that slider in. So that's what you want to see some pitchers. You want to see movement from both sides of the plate. You just don't want to see, okay, if I'm a lefty and it's just hard in on righties all the time. You need that 2-seamer, you need that changeup, and those pitches to move to both sides. That way you have a little bit more success against hitters.
And it deuces a ground ball to the right side. Jazz on to first, 2 away. Well, tonight on Yes, Cam Johnson and the Brooklyn Nets host SGA and the Oklahoma City Thunder at Barclays Center. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock with tip-off shortly after 7:30 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. 2 away here at the top of the third. The number 9 hitter is Michael Ciani playing center field today. Ciani part of that outfield mix. For the Cardinals, that includes Walker, Lars Nootbaar, among others. And Warren gets him to lift one over to the left side. Looks like it's going to stay in fair territory. Nice play by Peraza, calling everybody off to make the play. So 3 clean innings for Will Warren.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
Stay 2 nights, get a $50 Best Western gift card. A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal with your choice of all this for just $7. Because a full-size meal without that satisfying sweet treat, that's like chicken strips with no dip, like a burger with no bun, like a sundae with no drizzle. Whether you go for chicken strips or a cheeseburger, treat yourself to an honest-to-goodness meal with full-size fries, a drink, and dessert, all for just $7 at DQ.
As your host, I have some rules. 2 flush maximum per bathroom visit. No games, no fun. There's a great barbecue outside, but don't touch that.
Meanwhile, at a Verbo, when other vacation rentals make you share your turf with a host, try one that's all yours.
I was deployed overseas, and it really impacted my liver health. I was missing family moments because I just couldn't find the energy. It turns out that Dose for Your Liver was the change that I needed. It doesn't even feel like I'm taking a supplement because it tastes so good. My wife is asking me where all this energy is coming from. I went from dreading to get out of bed to jumping out of bed. I'm back in the stands, cheering my daughter on, and my culture is full of so many yummy foods that I'm just really glad I can enjoy those with my family again. Nothing's more important to me than showing up for my family, and Dose helps me do just that.
At Spectrum, we believe every day unlocks unlimited possibilities. Spectrum transforms your gaming experience into a galaxy of adventures. And with super reliable internet speeds, you're always front row to the entertainment you love. Switch to Spectrum Internet today.
Welcome back to Yankees Spring Training, presented by your local Ford stores. Dominate the field with a legendary Ford Bronco, official SUV of the Yankees. It's been quick, clean baseball so far through 2.5 innings. 1-2-3 up, 1-2-3 down. And now in the bottom of the third, it's going to be the 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Yankees against a new pitcher, relieving Michael McGreevy. It is Tink Hence, number 30, the right-hander for the Cardinals.
Yeah, he was a starter last year, 20 starts in Double-A in Springfield for the Cardinals, 3.95 ERA, a 2.71 ERA, excuse me.
Dominic Smith is the batter, DHing this afternoon.
109 strikeouts and 79 2/3 last year in Double-A.
Smith will try to avoid that fate. 1 for 3 in yesterday's ball game. It was a loss for the Yanks, but he had a couple runs batted in. 2-1 is hammered out to right by Smith. See if the ball has carry. Oh, that has plenty of carry. Up onto the patio and gone. A solo home run for Dominic Smith. And the Yankees are on the board. It's 1-0.
Well, a good show, and that left-handed power plays well at Yankee Stadium. Spent a majority of his career in the National League, a lot of it with the Mets. Last year, split between a couple teams. This is a fastball at 96, up around the letters, and he just turned on it.
And Jordan Walker, what a great teammate, because he at least gave it the courtesy.
Yes.
I might be able to haul that in, and then it flew about 30 feet over his head.
Oh, he was way out in front of that. He crushed that ball.
Ground ball or little liner by Pablo Reyes to short, 1 away.
It's always nice when your outfielder gives the courtesy run.
Yeah.
And not just stand there and say, oh, I'm not even wasting my time.
And as the pitcher, you're like, dude, I heard it off the bat. It was going 400 plus.
Yeah, every time I gave up a home run, I always hoped that they caught it. It's like, come on, climb the wall, do something.
First hit of the game, first run of the game for either of these teams. And now the number 9 hitter, Oswald Peraza. Already seen him with a nice defensive play to end the last inning. Pop ranging into shallow left. Peraza getting a lot of reps so far this spring. No starts for DJ LeMahieu, so Peraza getting a good look and some consistency there, Nelly, in that third base spot.
Right, well, he's out of options, so the Yankees will have to make a decision at the end whether he breaks camp. I mean, he could play so many positions, shortstop, second base. You saw him in that last inning make an outstanding catch. You got a shortstop over at third, really helps defensively.
Punches that one out into just beyond the infield. That's going to be an easy infield single for Peraza.
You know, with Stanton being out, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with him. And that could open up a lot of opportunities for like a Dom Smith or someone that normally wouldn't make the team.
Smith,
Peraza.
Yeah, DHing today with a bang. Peraza, the thing that helps too, could you just pencil him in at third? Yeah, but then the versatility to have him play short, spell Volpe there, maybe a little second base as well. Back to the top of the lineup, Jazz Chisholm Jr. against Tink Hence. He struck out looking in his first at bat. Takes a look at ball 2, 2-0. If you're a pitcher this early in spring, are you expecting a guy like Peraza to run? Do you even kind of account for that, or are you just really more focused on getting hitters out?
Well, you want to hold on. You want to hold runners on, and Hence has a high leg kick. It's just a matter of how much do these guys want to run early. You still have to be aware of that as a pitcher. I mean, you look at Hence right here, and you watch his high leg kick, so he doesn't really, he's not quick to the plate, so he's very slow. He gives that runner, especially someone like Peraza, a chance to grab that bag. I think sometimes position players, especially base stealers, are a little bit hesitant early in the spring to maybe try to steal.
And he just sees what Hence is doing. 4 balls there, a walk to Chisholm Jr. And the Yankees have first and second with 1 away here in the bottom of the third.
And with Hence, he's a very young player. He played in Double-A, getting his first taste at big league camp. Probably will be in Triple-A next year. You're facing the Yankees, facing a lot of the big league players. Maybe a little overwhelmed right now, a little nerves.
Jason Dominguez grounded to short in his first at bat, knocks that one into left field. See if they send him. Base hit left. They are sending Peraza, and he's in standing up, but it's a 2-0 Yankees lead. Dominguez coming through with an RBI base hit.
Well, that's good plate awareness as well. After a 4-pitch walk, you got to figure a young player, you're going to might see a fastball to hit. And that's an outstanding piece of hitting. He takes that fastball on the outside part of the plate, goes the other way. There you see where the shortstop Wynn is playing more up the middle than the normal spot. So that hole between third and short is pretty big. And nice job by hitting the other way. RBI.
And a mound visit here for Hence. As the Cardinals, a little bit of a jam here with 2 on and 1 out in the bottom of the third. And that's huge, too, for Dominguez to use every part of that field and just to, like you said, I almost recognized with that particular pitch, probably expecting a fastball, just take it the other way with a wide open hole on the left side.
Right, and he's still on the on-deck circle, and he's watching what the pitcher's doing to Jazz Chisholm and how wild he is. And he goes, okay, he's going to try to get ahead of me. He's not going to try to walk me. I got to look first pitch heater, and I got to take it where it's pitched. And there you see right there, very aggressive early. You love to see it. The pitch is on the outside part of the plate. There you see he keeps his hands back and just smokes it to the left side. And he wind up getting a base hit out of it and an RBI.
So 2-0 Yankees here with a 1 away in the bottom of the third. And Cody Bellinger is the hitter. Bellinger lifting the one out to center field in his first at bat. And a huge swing and a miss to even the count at 1-1. And Bellinger in that lineup is interesting, too. Could be in so many different spots. We mentioned, could you put him in the leadoff spot? Sure. But 2, 3, 4, 5, there's so much room for him in that lineup.
Yeah, there is, and you would imagine that Aaron Judge is going to wind up hitting in that 2 slot, and possibly a Bellinger in that 3rd slot. A lot of power. Only 23 homers last year. You expect that to go up, especially with the short porch in right field.
Chisholm at second. Peraza has scored. It is Dominguez at first base in a 2-0 game.
I mean, it sets up really well for the Yankees if they have Jazz at the leadoff position. You have a lefty, you have a righty in Judge, then you go lefty again with Bellinger, then you go righty with Goldschmidt. Really never allows that starting pitcher to get into a groove or a rhythm, because you're seeing different guys from different sides of the plate.
Ground ball, base hit up the middle. That'll score at least 1 as the runners advance. Chisholm is in, and the Yankees have a 3-0 lead.
Well, it's just a fastball down, and Bellinger did a nice job. That was away again, and he just hits it right back up the middle. Nice level swing. We talked on Sunday when he struggles, and when he was struggling with the Cubs and the Dodgers, gets really, really loopy in that swing. A little bit more level here in spring training. You see a lot more ground balls, a lot more line drive base hits from Bellinger.
Goldschmidt trying to do a little damage. Flare to center field. That'll score another run. So 4 runs in this inning. Big inning for the Yanks. They lead at 4-0 on the RBI single by Paul Goldschmidt.
Oh, and that's a line drive tomorrow. Yeah, that's a little looper, a little jam shot, but you'll take it. And you see fastball from Hens. It gets in on his kitchen. But when the ball's up, and as strong as Goldschmidt is, he's got a better opportunity to leak that into the outfield for a base hit. You get it down, it might be a ground ball. Anything up to a veteran hitter like Goldschmidt.
Cardinals going to make a pitching change here with the Yanks up 4-0. We'll take a break and be back right after this. Cardinals bring in a lefty for a lefty-on-lefty matchup against Austin Wells. First swinging again, launching one to left field, and that ball over the head of Ciani. As Wells comes in, he's had 2 swings today. He scores a couple right there as the Yankees putting up a huge inning, a 6 spot here in the bottom of the 3rd at 6-0.
Well, Wells' first at-bat got a breaking ball down and hit it into the left center field gap, but it was caught. This one was a fastball, first pitch fastball from Mosqueda. And he crushed this ball over the head of Ciani, the center fielder. guy's seeing the ball pretty well his first 2 at-bats. There you see Ciani, the center fielder, playing shallow. One hops that wall. A couple RBIs and a double for Wells.
Odanier Mosqueda was greeted with that. 2 RBI off the bat of Austin Wells, and that brings up the 9th hitter in the inning, Anthony Volpe. Odanier was at AAA with the Yankees last season, got into 55 games. Volpe tried to join the hit party, swings and a miss. 1-1.
Yeah, Mosqueda had a lot of vultures out of that bullpen in Scranton. 7-1 record. 4.39 ERA, not bad.
Wells at second after the RBI double. Just 1 away here in the bottom of the 3rd, and Mosqueda missing. 2-1. You know, seeing some quality at bats. I'm thinking of the way you talked about Dominguez, seeing a pitcher in Hence in trouble, jumps on the first pitch, and then Wells, new pitcher into the game, goes out in attack mode.
And again, in spring training and even during the regular season as a reliever, you have to realize that when you're coming in with men on base, the hitter that's coming up, he's looking dead red early, and you usually start him out with breaking balls, and then that way you have a better shot at trying to get him out. You start grooving fastballs right down the middle. That's what happens, and Wells took advantage of it.
Volpe fouls that one off. 2-2. Six straight Yankees have reached base. 6 have scored. Dominic Smith leading things off with a solo home run here in the bottom of the 3rd, and then the hit parade started. 2-2 pitch to Volpe. Out to right field, right center, and Ciani will track it down. Wells will tag and go to 3rd, 2 away.
Oh, this is Smith's last at bat. Fastball upstairs from Hence. Can he do 2 times in 1 inning?
Oh, we're about to find out with Wells on 3rd base and 2 away. No doubt shot earlier, and now he has to face the lefty, who starts him off with a strike. 0-1. Dominic Smith already with 2 homers in 3 spring games. And lifting that one out to right field. Good carry once again as Walker goes just a step in front of the warning track, and that will do it. But the Yankees bat around 10 batters to the inning, 6 runs on the board.
Popeyes has the best of both.
Top of the fourth in Tampa, Tri-State Cadillac scoreboard shows the Yankees with 6 runs and 6 hits, all in that bottom of the third to take the lead. Happy to be joined, as always, by Yankees manager Aaron Boone. And let's break down that inning. Kind of the dream, right? A little bit of power, a lot of power there from Dominic Smith to sort of spark the team, and then 6 straight guys reach. A lot of hits in between. Really quality at bats in that inning.
Yeah, good at bats. Had a walk in there, but some good aggression. Wellesley getting on a first pitch and really stinging it to center field, but just a lot of quality at bats. Dominguez going the other way, Jazz working the walk, Goldie fighting one off, Peraza getting it rolling, Belly with an RB. So yeah, man, looking around the field.
Is that
that's how you that's how you draw it up.
Yeah, is that something that you like to see from? You just mentioned Dominguez and going the other way. He's a very young player, and that pitch could easily, him trying to pull the ball and roll over maybe a double play, instead of watching exactly what the pitcher was doing the previous walk, and takes a pitch and hits it where it's pitched.
Yeah, and he's capable of that. He's got juice to all fields. Like, he can, both sides of play, he can ride the ball out the other way. So, really important for him, as is with most guys, to really keep your sights set on that middle of the field. And but a good job of just laying on that ball, working it the other way, and good read off the bat to score. Great read by Goldie on the double, reading the ball to be able to score from first there. So a lot of good things in that inning.
Nice strikeout there of Mason, won by Yoendris Gomez. Also in that inning, Austin Wells cashing in. First pitch of his first at-bat, swings, takes one deep to left center. Second at bat, first pitch swinging, and again a savvy at bat because the reliever comes in and he just gets aggressive in that mode.
Yeah, and especially lefty coming in that situation. You got some runners out there. You want to be ready to hunt early. You obviously want to control the zone as best you can in that situation. But that's a good pitch to jump on, and he didn't miss it.
Booney, Will Warren, I don't even know if he broke a sweat, 35 pitches. I mean, my goodness. A little bit of time last year, a few starts. Coming into camp this year, what do you see from his outing today, and what do you expect from him this spring?
He looks great. I mean, he's one of those talks of the camp so far. It's electric stuff. And what we've seen big improvement on in gains on, we feel like, is the changeup and even the curveball a little bit, which, is really something he's going to need for the left-handed hitters. He's got that built-in sinker-slider combo that's going to naturally make him really tough on righties, but it's good to see him really moving the needle with the changeup and the curveball as well. So excited with what we're seeing. We talked about it even last year where he took his lumps a little bit. Like, this is a guy with a really good arsenal and a guy that has a chance to be really good, and I feel like he's continues to make strides towards that.
One thing we talk about with players, it sounds like a cliche, but body language. Warren just pitches like he looks like he belongs. Like, you watch even his face, Aaron, you can't really tell what's going on, but he comes out, he really attacks you.
Yeah, he's a really confident kid. I've said it a lot, but he reminds me a lot of Clark, when, a few years ago, Clark, where you saw the promise at Clark, you saw the arsenal, you saw the stuff, but it took some time to continue to develop. But one thing they both have is a lot of confidence in their ability. I think for Will, it's just really harnessing that, controlling that burn a little bit on the mound, which I think is really important, especially for starting pitchers. Obviously, you want that real high, real competitive guy, but you also, as a starting pitcher, got to I think have a handle on your emotions. I feel like he's doing a better job with that too.
Yeah, Booney, I'm looking at your face right now. It was a little bit different than Sunday. You had the stubble, and I thought maybe you might have rode that out a little bit longer.
No, I'm gonna keep shaving. I'm gonna probably leave the stubble for the winter. I think that's the route I'm going. We'll see how it.
Anybody taking advantage of the new facial policy?
Oh yeah. We're starting to see some guys let it eat here a little bit. So we joke about Austin Wells. I think he shaved this morning, but he's got to shave every 12 hours to keep up with it.
Yeah, he has to shave after he sneezes.
That's right.
Aaron, thanks for joining us.
Guys.
We'll see you again soon. Take care.
Take a load for free. Take
perfect family vacation? Separate rooms.
Put the love right on me.
Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western.
A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal with your choice of all this for just $7. Because a full-size meal without that satisfying sweet treat, that's like chicken strips with no dip, like a burger with no bun, like a sundae with no drizzle. Whether you go for chicken strips or a cheeseburger, treat yourself to an honest-to-goodness meal with full-size fries, a drink, and dessert, all for just $7 a DQ.
As you get older, your liver health becomes an increasingly important part of the aging process. It performs over 500 daily functions and impacts energy levels, digestion, and your body's overall efficiency. We created Dose for your liver to make taking care of your liver easy. Dose is an organic blend of liver-supporting ingredients like turmeric, milk thistle, and more, and is clinically backed to promote healthy liver function. With just one serving a day, Dose is a delicious way to support your liver so that nothing's holding you back.
Back in Tampa, bottom of the fourth inning. Let's check today's injury report brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Jay Cousins with a forearm strain. He's been out, but he's scheduled to begin throwing on Monday. And, of course, the Yankees will take it from there, hoping he'll be a big part of that bullpen. 6-0 Yankees on the Tri-State Cadillac scoreboard. For more on injuries and what's happening, we always have to page Dr. Marakovitz to find out what's on her medical chart and what rounds she's making. What do you got, Meredith?
You know, I made a few. I did see Jay Cousins walk through the clubhouse with a smile on his face. He told reporters he is good to go. As you mentioned, not so much for Chase Hampton. The number 6 prospect in the Yankees organization underwent Tommy John surgery the other day. Bobby actually walked into the clubhouse with a huge brace on his arm yesterday. And despite the injury, he seemed to be okay, saying that it's something he had been dealing with for a while. And he was almost hoping at this point it was torn because it had been bothering him for so long. His UCL torn in actually 3 places, so he will be out for the remainder of the season. As far as Scott Effross is concerned, he has been plagued by injuries over the last couple of years. He pitched a couple games after he was acquired via trade by the Yankees, and then tore his UCL, had Tommy John surgery. He rehabbed all of 2023 pretty much, and then throughout that rehab process had an issue with his back. He dealt with that a lot of last year, and then this offseason was really the first offseason that he's had that's been a normal one since 2021, 2022. He goes out there, throws his first pitch the other day, and grabs his leg. A hamstring issue. The Yankees really not saying too much on when they expect them back. Aaron Boone simply saying, we just hope it's not too long, because he was looking good on the mound. So some tough breaks for the Yankees, but there are some pitchers that have been in action, and one of them is the newly acquired Max Fried. He threw a live session yesterday, about 40 pitches, 3 innings. He threw his fastball, his curveball, his changeup. Guys, listen to the guys he was facing throughout the course of that session as Reyes goes down there and strikes for the first out of the inning. It was Aaron Judge, also Cody Bellinger, Jason Dominguez, Paul Goldschmidt among the guys. Judge managed a hard single. Aside from that, Max Fried pretty much in control of that one. And Marcus Stroman also threw yesterday about 2 innings and 35 pitches for him.
Thank you for that, Meredith. And by the way, I wanted to follow up with you because you've talked to Will Warren a lot. You saw his outing today, and we mentioned with Booney, he kind of has that demeanor like he really belongs, and you sense that every time you've talked to him, right?
And look, they had high hopes for him last year. It just seemed like when he came up, it did not all come together on the mound. He'd face a couple batters, he'd be okay, and then things would unravel. And the general consensus amongst the organization was really that he was way better than he showed last year. And now you heard Aaron Boone talk about that changeup and also the curveball. He had the curveball when he was drafted out of high school in 2021, but has not thrown it for 2 years. So it was something this offseason he decided to reintroduce into his arsenal to add another weapon. They're not exactly sure how it's going to play, but a pitch that they think could pay high dividends if he can get the feel of it to go along with his changeup against left-handed batters.
Should remind our viewers it is a spring game, hence Tink Hence is back in the game. He gave way to Mosqueda, was pulled, but he is back in there for this bottom of the 4th inning and gets a ground ball off the bat of Peraza. 2 away here in the 4th. And Meredith, any update on Giancarlo Stanton? We saw a guy who could have an impact if he's not around to start this season. Dominic Smith with a big home run in the third.
Well, we know he went back to New York the other day, but we were all on Stanton watch today, Bob. We did not see him walking around the ballpark. That does not mean that he is not here. There are a lot of places for Yankees players to hide, but no real update there other than what the Yankees were telling us. He's been dealing with that issue in both of his elbows. He has not swung a bat in several weeks. You heard Aaron Judge say the other day, we want a healthy Giancarlo Stanton in the middle of the season and for the stretch run. So how long he is going to be out, well, that could, as you said, open up some opportunities for some other guys on this Yankees roster. And now, you know, I said guys could be hiding in that clubhouse in areas that we can't go. I hear that Austin Wells is ready to join the Yes Network. So, guys, I got to go downstairs to interview Austin Wells. So I'll see you soon.
All right. Sounds good, Meredith. Thank you for that. And as we mentioned, Stanton in flux, so Dominic Smith becomes an option. Listen, at times they've learned to live without him in the regular season, Stanton, so guys have sort of the team itself has adopted that mentality, Nelly, like next man up, let's find a way to move that DH position around, and Smith is holding it down today, that's for sure.
And that's a good point, because if you look at the DH slot in a lot of clubs, they use that as an off day. You want to keep that bat in the lineup, but you get him off his feet from on the field, and that could, you never want to see Stanton on the IL. You would love him in that lineup. He means so much to the Yankees, but if that does happen, it does open up a slot. Say if Judge needs a day, hey, you want to keep his bat in the lineup, but get him out of the field, put Grisham in. There's that DH slot. Even Peraza, with having no options left, that might answer that right there. He can play multiple positions, but also that regains a slot on that team, on the Yankees roster.
So that ball bouncing, looks like Chisholm got a little, maybe a dirt in his eye. Chisholm, a big part of that 6-run third inning. After Peraza singled, he walked and then later scored. And pops that one into foul territory. Herrera's got it, and that will do it here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Yankees with a 6-0 lead in Tampa as we head to the top of the 5th. And the New York Yankees. Tickets for all 2025 Yankees home games are on sale at Yankees.com. This season's home schedule includes some great promotional giveaways and is highlighted by interleague games against the Giants, Cubs, and Phillies, as well as the annual Subway Series games against the Mets. For more information and to get your 2025 Yankees tickets, visit Yankees.com today. Head to the top half of the 5th inning. It is Mark Leiter Jr. in 6-0 on the Montefiore Einstein scoreboard. 60 games last year in time split between the Cubs and the Yankees.
Yeah, really struggled when he came over as a Yankee. 21 games, 4.98 ERA. He's got swing and miss stuff. Really good split, good fastball.
Arenado lifts that one to second base. One away here in the 5th.
He had 33 strikeouts in those 21 2/3 and changed up his number a little bit, right?
Yep.
56. Dad?
He was number 38 last year, changed to 56. The number his dad wore with the Yankees.
Bring him some luck.
Could be.
With Cousins down and Efros down, you know, you need Leiter, and he can be nasty. He could be an impact in that Yankee bullpen.
Ivan Herrera steps up with one away here in the 5th. He struck out swinging in his first at bat. So far, between 3 innings of Will Warren and 1 of Yoendris Gomez, no hits for the Cardinals. So through 4 1/3, the pitchers getting the job done for the Yankees. Big looping curveball in for a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, that no-hitter alert's going to pop up on your app after 5.
You know, the Yankees bullpen is interesting between Leiter with that heavy sinker, Cousins with the slider, Tim Hill giving you the different look from a lefty, and then what Luke Weaver and Devin Williams to do. So many different looks coming from that Yankees bullpen.
And you need swing and miss stuff down there. They didn't really have that for the most part last year. You want to see that. They were 17th in MLB in strikeouts. And when you get different looks, and Aaron Boone has talked about that many a times, of the guys coming out of the bullpen just giving hitters different looks and going different ways. It's such a key. And especially with guys that have swing and miss stuff. Leiter has that.
7th strikeout this afternoon for Yankees pitchers in the 1st for Leiter.
And there's that split down and in. He starts hammering that fastball inside, and you can see he goes to that split right away. And guys that throw split fingers, you'll see them go to that pitch right away. And a lot of it is because they don't want to dig in their glove for it. I mean, they don't want to put the ball in the glove, and all of a sudden you're digging in there for it. You're tipping it to the hitter. They automatically leave it on the outside and split those 2 fingers with the baseball, and then they can change it up, whether it's a fastball or a curveball or a slider, in their glove, rather than digging in and tipping that pitch to the hitter.
Misses with that breaking ball. 2-0 to Luke and Baker. Baker in the 2nd inning lined out to end the inning. It was a little sinking liner to center, and Bellinger did a nice job hauling it in. Gets that curveball in. 2-1. And Baker out to left field with a lot of carry, but it carries foul. Even the count at 2-2.
And that's what spring's all about, to try to get a feel for that split. That was a split down and in, and it stayed up. Now you try to bounce it and try to get a swing and miss, and when it's up and it doesn't really do a whole lot, that's a lot of times what happens.
Goes with a splitter again and misses.
And that's where you want it. You want it down. Almost when you're throwing a split, you're thinking about, I need to bounce this on top of the plate.
So we'll see what he comes with for the payoff pitch here. 3-2 pitch to Baker. And gets a ground ball right back to him. Oh, I'm sorry. Over to second base and on to first. Book it 4-3 and another scoreless, hitless inning for the Yanks. Yankee Spring Training on Yes, presented by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Been a good game, both offensively and pitching-wise for the Yankees so far. They lead at 6-0 on the Montefiore Einstein scoreboard as we head to the bottom of the fifth. The 2-3-4 hitters coming up. Jason Dominguez, 1 for 2 day, RBI single in the third inning. Facing a new pitcher for the Cardinals, the right-hander Ryan Fernandez.
Yeah, real good numbers last year. He was a rookie. You see 62 games, nice ERA at a 3.51. 71 strikeouts in those 66 2/3. Fastball slider guy.
And Dominguez fouls that one away to stay alive, 1-2.
You usually don't see a lot of relievers throw out of the full windup.
Yeah.
They come in the game and they're straight from the stretch.
1-2 pitch, misses up high, 2-2. Is that just a comfort thing, or is that something, if he stays as a bullpen guy, he will, kind of learn and decide to go from that, or just?
Yeah, it's probably a comfort thing, and I'm sure as his time in the big leagues goes further, he'll probably wind up just pitching out of the stretch. Threw in 62 games last year. He was a rookie.
And Dominguez with a swing and a miss and a tag, one away.
And most of the time you're coming in with men on base, and you're not from the full windup. You're immediately from the stretch. And this is a nasty breaking ball right here from Fernandez.
Brings up Cody Bellinger, 1 for 2 himself, an RBI single back in that 6th inning. Yankees sent 10 men to the plate in that inning. Big swing and a foul ball there by Bellinger, 0-1.
Sometimes throwing from the full windup, it's like a mental thing. It tells you I have a little bit more moving parts and I can get on the move instead of just lifting my leg from the stretch and then throwing home. Almost like I can get more on the ball. I can throw a little bit harder.
Could totally see, too, with a taller pitcher like Fernandez, kind of more moving parts. Maybe it's a timing thing to keep him back and over the mound. As he strikes out Bellinger, 2 strikeouts here for Fernandez.
He's got a good fastball, pretty good command. This is supposed to be on the outside half, right down the middle. Maybe Bellinger looking off speed.
Paul Goldschmidt is 1 for 2 as well, grounded to second and had an RBI base hit in that 3rd inning. We were talking about Goldschmidt earlier and how you mentioned as a Gold Glover, quality first baseman defensively, and how much he works at it, and how comforting that must be if it, let's say, ends up as Volpe at short, Chisholm at second, and a Peraza at third, just knowing, just get the ball and throw it around the bag, and he's probably going to be able to scoop it.
Well, I play with Tino Martinez, one of the best, even Mark Teixeira as well, and they've saved so many throwing errors. When you have a great first baseman over there, and if you let one go either high or you misthrow it and you're throwing it in the dirt, and you have a guy over there that can pick, it helps out the pitcher, obviously, but it also helps out your infielders, knowing that you have someone that's going to come up with it, and it's not going to be Olayed, and all of a sudden you have an error. Tino was outstanding. He saved Chuck Knobloch from probably having about 60 errors in 1 year.
And a swing and a miss there by a Goldschmidt. So Fernandez striking out the side here in the bottom of the 5th. 6-0 going to the 6th. Welcome back to Yankee Spring Training, presented by local Ford stores. Dominate the field with a legendary Ford Bronco, official SUV of the Yankees. It has been all Yankees this afternoon against the Cardinals. Top half of the 6th inning, they lead at 6-0. And the reason for zeros across the board for the Cardinals, one of them, the great pitching of Will Warren, who got the start. 3 innings of hitless, 4 strikeout baseball, and Meredith Marakovits is standing by with it.
Will, it seemed like you were in complete control out there this afternoon. What stood out to you about the way you were throwing the ball?
Yeah, just getting ahead, attacking the hitters, getting them on their heels as opposed to me being on mine.
I think last time I asked you about your changeup, but also you've incorporated your curveball back into your arsenal. What made you do that this offseason?
Yeah, I think it's just a different look, something to steal a strike or two, open up the arsenal to lefties, and like I said, get ahead.
Throughout the course of the spring, there are tons of former Yankees that come here. They're standing around. We saw CC Sabathia, Roger Clemens. Also, Andy Pettitte has been around. Is there anyone that you've really picked the brain of to try to maybe get some tips, pointers as you continue to navigate through this spring?
Yeah. Last year, Andy and I sat around a lot and talked about just sequencing in general and walking through my games up there. And we've gotten, now that he came back for spring training, we've talked a lot. Also talked to Guidry about some Louisiana cooking, so something on the lighter side.
Hey, how can I forget about the great Ron Guidry? Shame on me. You mentioned the Louisiana cooking. He has gumbo that he brings to spring training every year. Are you on the gumbo list?
I was as of last year. Hopefully he didn't cut me off, so... No, it was fantastic.
Good gumbo, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, you mentioned last year, when you look back at last season, everyone said you're better than perhaps the performance showed at times. What do you think it was about last year, and what can you take from those experiences that are really going to help you this year?
Yeah, I don't know if it's any single thing that set it apart, but yeah, just experience in general. I think learning from those outings, from the success and from the failures, and, closing the book and moving it on to this year.
Well, it's been great chatting with you, but you have a bunch of writers over there waiting for you. So I hate to do it, but you've got to go face the gauntlet over there.
No, thanks for having me.
We'll appreciate it.
Yep.
Send it back to you.
Meredith, thank you for that. What a great outing for him today. And we talked about this with the veterans that the Yankees bring to camp. He picks Andy Pettitte's brain, and then he gets to talk and learn about gumbo from Gator. Come on.
And Gator would bring some seasonings, and you could get some from him. I can't say some of the names of the seasonings that he brings because they have some bizarre names.
Matt Kaperniak off Brett Hedrick. Lefty on lefty battle. He wins that one. Base hit with 1 away here in the top of the 6th.
But we talk about Will Warren and the rotation. Will he break camp? You never know. I mean, injuries, the injury bug flies around every camp. And you just go out and you try to improve what he did on last year. And he's mixing in the curveball. I thought he threw a couple curveballs early. Really easy outing for him, only 35 pitches. But you're not just going to need 5 guys in a season. You're going to use 10, 11 starters at some point. I don't know if any team ever just has the 5 that they break camp with and then end with. You're always going through a number of them, and he's going to be a big part of this Yankee team at some point if he gets that chance to come up and start.
Michael Ciani attempting a bunt on his first pitch there from Hedrick. Now ball away, evens the count at 1-1. You see the Yankees defense has changed, up 6-0. A lot of wholesale changes in the 6th. Munguia, Ellis, and Morales around the outfield. Velasquez, Lombard on the left side. Shoemake at second base, and then Rumfield at first. Also remember Escara is now catching with Austin Wells out of the game.
Hedrick from the Twins organization didn't have a whole lot of time the last couple of years. Only 15 games, 14 and 23. Only one last year. Big lefty, 6'6", 27 years old.
One-two pitch, slider misses, 2-2. They don't grow small pitchers anymore.
And that's the thing that's changed as well. Yeah. I mean, you look at the velocity that these pitchers have, and also how tall players in general. And if you had teams back in the 90s, 2000s, if you had 3-4 guys that are over 6'4".
That's a base hit to right field. And sets up the Cardinals first and second with one away. By the way, those are the first 2 hits of the game for the St. Louis Cardinals.
I'm walking in these dugouts, and the Yankee dugout and some of the visiting dugouts, I'm like, these players are gigantic.
Perniak's at second, Ciani at first. Hedrick back to the top of the lineup, and Mason Wynn, who has not had a good afternoon, struck out a couple times so far. 8 strikeouts this afternoon for Yankees pitchers.
Oh, you love the fact that you look at CC Sabathia, Roger Clemens, Andy Pettit, you have Guidry there. For these young guys, or even the veteran pitchers like a Garrett or a Fried, to go up and talk to them and pick their brain at how they did it, you know, how Pettit went through his game plan and what he did, even though he was from the left side, Will Warren from the right side. As far as setting up hitters and attacking the zone and mechanic wise, everything's the same. It doesn't matter what side you throw from.
As a young player, would you have had the confidence to walk up to, let's say, a Pettit or a Rocket and say, hey, can I pick your brain about something?
Yeah, be a little intimidating, but that's what they were down there for. And the Yankees do such a great job of bringing back ex-players and ones that can really impact some of these young players. When I came up through Seattle, we didn't have that. You know, you basically learn it on your own. But you know, when you had a Guidry or a Gossage, and you're picking their brain, it makes a difference.
Ground ball left side, nice play. Andrew Velasquez gets the out at second for the second out of the inning. Good work there and a nice pick by Velasquez.
Well, another position player for the Yankees, can play multiple positions. There you see he goes to that hop. It was a really bad hop and it stayed down. Got up quickly to get that force out at second.
First and second, 2 away. Brings up Brendan Donovan. Couple ground outs to first so far for him this afternoon. Cardinals trying to break through and get on the scoreboard. Just a couple hits so far in this game as he fouls that one away to the left side, 0-1.
You know, Goose used to sit down in the bullpen with us, and you know, during the games. And it's basically, okay, how do you get over the boredom of being down here until you get your name called?
Were you leading that charge to break the boredom?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't pay attention. Well, you pay attention in some sense, you know, for the first 5 innings. But you always have to fool around. You're away from everyone. There was only a few places where the bullpens were right down the line.
Yeah.
Everything else was over the fence, and nobody could see you. They didn't have cameras down there, and your manager couldn't see you. The pitching coach couldn't see you. Our bullpen coach, he had his back turned to us. That was for a reason.
And a swing and a miss there by Hedrick. And that will do it. Cardinals got a couple runners on, but that was it. 6-0.
Now and then, you need to stop and smell the roses. Or the leaves, rocks, trees, sticks, and that one tree again. Stay 2 nights, get a $50 Best Western gift card.
A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal. With a cheeseburger or 3-piece chicken strips, full-size fries, a drink, and a sundae. You get an honest-to-goodness full meal all for just $7 at DQ.
I'm getting older. I was starting to feel the impact on my body.
He's never had the healthiest diet.
My doctor told me I needed to start prioritizing my liver health.
I did some research and found Dose.
Dose for Your Liver is a clinically backed supplement that supports healthy liver function.
My stomach feels a lot better.
It's changed his life. He has more energy. He sees his grandkids more.
Well, I can actually keep up with them now.
He just seems happier, and I love that he's taking something with organic ingredients.
Start your liver health journey today at dosedaily.co.
At Spectrum, we believe every day unlocks unlimited possibilities. Spectrum transforms your gaming experience into a galaxy of adventures. And with super reliable internet speeds, you're always front row to the entertainment you love. Switch to Spectrum Internet today.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you.
Vive como millonario con Wi-Fi de esquina a esquina.
At Racetrack, we operate about 800 locations in total. We've started to move to.
Well, suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your Yankees gear. 6-0 Yankees here in the bottom of the 6th on the Audi scoreboard. It's been a great afternoon for the Yanks so far at George M. Steinbrenner Field. The new pitcher for the Cardinals is Chris Roycroft, who last season got in 27 games with the big league club.
Yeah, 27 years old, rookie. Another rookie out of that Cardinal bullpen.
J.C. Escarra leading things off here in the bottom of the 6th. He came in for Austin Wells, who got a couple at bats and went 1 for 2. Escarra last season between Double and Triple A, 12 homers, 64 runs batted in, 124 games played. So Nelly and I were having a conversation pregame about the backup catcher spot for Wells, who is obviously a left-hander. And do you want the right-hander in there for balance, or do you just take the guy who you feel is the best suited backup?
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about that on Sunday when Escarra got the start. And I think if you look at Rice, Jackson behind the plate, Alex Jackson, and also Escarra, if they're all similar on how they catch a game, I think he may go offense. You know, you look at Wells, we're talking maybe 130 ball games this year. If he stays healthy, everything goes right. You may not play Wells against a tough lefty.
And Escarra lifts one to right field. Walker makes the catch, one away.
If you have those three and they're about the same catcher as far as defensively with their arm, there's their lineup there as far as who's going to be that backup. Jackson, the only righty out of these two. Now Rice can also play first base. He may have a little bit of an advantage there. But do you go with who's the better hitter if they're the same kind or same type of catcher?
Now there are some teams and managers, as George Lombard Jr. fouls that one away, he took over for Anthony Volpe at short, who are loath to have a guy like Ben Rice, who's not just a traditional strict backup catcher. If he starts at first base one day, or maybe a DH and Wells is catching, what do you then do about a third or emergency catcher?
Yeah, exactly, and that could be. Ooh.
Lombard getting plunked there with one away.
96. Right on that left bicep. Let's see where this got him. Hopefully right off of that brace. Yeah, and that's a great point as well, because that third catcher's taking up a roster spot. Yeah, I mean, if you have a Ben Rice and he can play multiple positions, and all of a sudden he is at first, you need another catcher in case Wells goes down. That could be, you know, even though Rice plays multiple positions, that might not be so great for him, knowing that most teams don't carry third catchers.
Right. Jesus Rodriguez has taken over for Dominic Smith, who had a terrific afternoon. He had 2 homers in 3 spring games for Smith, and he homered to lead off in the third inning here for the Yanks. Rodriguez to the right. Nice play there at second to get him with a runner advancing and 2 away.
Donovan had no chance getting that lead runner at second. Outstanding play, and he was playing more up the middle. Goes into shallow right field. Nice throw to get Rodriguez.
Two away. Lombard Jr.'s at second, and that'll bring up Kobe Morales. No, not Kobe Morales. But a ground ball to second, and that will do it. So we're taking it to the 7th inning with the Yankees up 6-0.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
Stay 2 nights, get a $50 Best Western gift card. A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal. With a cheeseburger or 3-piece chicken strips, full-size fries, a drink, and a sundae. You get an honest-to-goodness full meal all for just $7 at DQ.
I was deployed overseas, and it really impacted my liver health. I was missing family moments because I just couldn't find the energy. It turns out that Dose for Your Liver was the change that I needed. It doesn't even feel like I'm taking a supplement because it tastes so good. My wife is asking me where all this energy is coming from. I went from dreading to get out of bed to jumping out of bed. I'm back in the stands, cheering my daughter on, and my culture is full of so many yummy foods that I'm just really glad I can enjoy those with my family again. Nothing's more important to me than showing up for my family, and Dose helps me do just that.
At Spectrum, we believe every day unlocks unlimited possibilities. Spectrum transforms your gaming experience into a galaxy of adventures. And with super reliable internet speeds, you're always front row to the entertainment you love. Switch to Spectrum Internet today.
You could book this house with someone.
Yankee Spring on Yes is presented by your local Ford stores. Dominate the field or any terrain with the legendary Ford Bronco, official SUV of the Yankees. 6-0 Yanks in the top of the 7th on the Montefiore Einstein scoreboard. It was a good first start of the spring for Austin Wells. Let's get to him with Meredith Morakovitz.
Austin, you saw your first action of the spring this afternoon, maybe a little earlier than people anticipated. What did Aaron Boone tell you to let you know you were going to be in the lineup this afternoon?
Well, he told me the plan, and I told him I was feeling good and the lives were going good and wanted to catch Will. And that was kind of like the goal for me today, was to just get back there and see Will in some games and try to get on the same page there.
You mentioned Will, he looked pretty dominant this afternoon. What did you pick up on out there?
Yeah, I mean, he was aggressive in the zone and got ahead, and he had some really good success. So I was really happy for him to go out there and have a good outing.
Does he seem like a different pitcher this year coming into spring training than perhaps what we saw last year a couple times?
Definitely feels like he's got a chip on his shoulder. I think he's coming back with a little bit of vengeance, wants to improve, and I've seen it from the start. And, you know, his live BPs, his last outing, and this one, you know, he's been great, and I'm excited to see what he keeps doing.
Fans are excited to see what you're doing as you're watching Will Warren on the TV right now. Fans are excited to see what you keep doing. Fantastic rookie campaign. How do you go about trying to follow that up, Austin?
Just try to improve in all areas, really. I'd like to be better every year, and I think that's my goal. And I think looking back, there's a lot to improve on, but a lot to be happy about. So just picking and choosing where to try and get better and knowing what makes me good, and trying to stick with that.
Any area in particular that you're really focused on as far as getting better?
I mean, I would love to hit a little better and just be more consistent. So I think that's kind of my plan going in.
You mentioned the consistency at the end of the season. How much of it was just the grind of your first major league season?
Yeah, I don't really know. As you said, it being my first time, I don't really know how I was feeling, but at the time I felt like it was just kind of what I was doing. And I think looking back, I feel much better right now than I did back then, but I'm not, going to let that affect how I played. So
now, for the folks at home that don't know, you were a rookie last season, so you were carrying around the giant boombox all season long. You're not going to have to do that this year, so a little weight lifted off of your shoulders.
We did have a pretty good year, though, so I might take it back. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll have to keep an eye out for that. Austin, as always, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Send it back to you.
Thanks, Meredith. So there could be a little superstition involved there. If he was
is there a rookie that breaks camp? I mean, then you go service time. Right. He may get it regardless.
So could have been fatigued by the boombox here.
Possibly.
Went on the IL with a boombox injury.
You know, the catchers have the toughest job in spring training. You know, they're there with the pitchers. They get the gear on every single day. They're catching a number of bullpens.
Great pitch by Hedrick there to strike out Arenado.
Right. And they're doing all their defensive drills, the fly balls, the blocking the balls, and then they have to try to figure out when it's their time for them to take batting practice. And this is a real good fastball. Big 6'6", 94.
You know, he brought up a good point because John Flaherty has said this too. When it's your rookie season, you're a position player, you don't know what to expect. I think Anthony Volpe experienced that too a couple of years ago, that it was like you never played 162 games or that long of a season. You don't know how your body's going to hold up. So now he's looking to be, how can I be more consistent and have more of an impact late in the season to be healthy?
Right, and a lot of that is what Aaron Boone is doing, is trying to get him as much rest as possible in spring. I mean, now the one thing you don't want to do is not get him into a rhythm as far as hitting. You know, catching is one thing. His defensive skills, yes, but hitting, you don't want to get too much rest where you're not. Live pitching is a lot in a game is a lot different than seeing you know, the jugs gun or the batting practice pitcher on the side fields.
Second inning work for Brett Hedrick, and he looked very good. 2 strikeouts of the Cardinals as we've hit the stretch, 6-0. At the 7th inning stretch on the Montefiore Einstein scoreboard, and we will stay at George M. Steinbrenner Field for God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, today the New York Yankees are recognizing the brave men and women of our armed forces. So please direct your attention to the Yankees first base dugout and welcome Master Sergeant Deshaun Rodriguez of the United States Air Force. Master Sergeant Rodriguez is the non-commissioned officer in charge of Aviation Resources, part of the 63rd Air Refueling Squadron, and has served in numerous assignments overseas. He's been serving our country for more than 10 years and is a native New Yorker born and raised in the Bronx. Master Sergeant Deshaun Rodriguez is our military honoree of the game. And we also say thank you to all of our brave men and women for their service and sacrifice for our nation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to rise and remove your caps for the playing of God Bless America.
Friends, the Yes app has moved to the Gotham Sports app, your new home for streaming live Yankees, Nets, and more. Free with an eligible TV subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now and sign in with your existing Yes app username and password, or visit GothamSports.com to get streaming. We're back in the bottom of the 7th inning in Tampa, and the Yankees lead at 6-0 on the Montefiore-Einstein scoreboard. Yanks breaking out with all 6 of those runs in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. As the Cardinals' next pitcher up is the right-hander Riley O'Brien.
Yeah, O'Brien spent parts of 3 seasons with Cincinnati. Seattle did not pitch in 23. Only a few games last year with the Cardinals, 8 ERA. You know, one thing with Wells, you're talking about not, and with Volpe, not what to expect. I mean, they didn't know what to expect. The minor league season's 142 games.
Right.
I mean, it's only 20 less than a big league season. So, I mean, how much more of adjustment is that going to be? I mean, you're flying everywhere. You're not taking buses, and you expect them to be ready and do whatever they need to do to play in a full season. And we talked, maybe we're expecting 130 games out of Austin Wells this year.
Andrew Velasquez, the batter. He came in to take over for Oswald Peraza at 3rd base. And a swing and a foul ball, 1-2.
O'Brien really closes off. I mean, he turns that left shoulder away from the hitter. Tries to hide the ball a little bit better. You see the number. That's what the hitter's seeing right there.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss by Velasquez. 1 away. Well, friends, support America's military and first responder heroes. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnels to Towers Foundation at T2T.org. 1 away in the bottom of the 7th. Go back to the top of the lineup. It'll be Braden Shoemake, who took over at 2nd base for Jazz Chisholm Jr. I'm not sure we're going to hit us with the fun fact about Riley O'Brien that James Smythe gave us.
Didn't want to ruin anything. I didn't want to steal your thunder.
It's great. James Smythe gave this to us. Riley O'Brien, the pitcher for the Cards. His grandfather, Johnny O'Brien, played 6 seasons in the 50s with the Pirates, Cardinals, and Braves. Johnny and his brother, Eddie, are one of 4 sets of twins to be teammates in Major League history.
That is a fun fact. The latest were the Roger brothers, Taylor and Tyler. They were with the Giants last year.
Grounder to 2nd, 4-3, but not teammates this season.
No,
yet,
they've
right?
had enough. They said enough of the twins on the same team. Taylor, see you later. You got traded to the Reds.
How'd you like to get that call from your brother? You know how fun it was to be on the road this season and everything? Yeah, it's not going to happen again.
One was left-handed, one was right-handed.
Ismael Munguia will bat now, getting his first at bat, taking over for Jason Dominguez in left field. And right down the line, and look to see if he'll get 2 out of it. Big turn at first, but a 2-out base hit for Munguia.
Well, spring training, you just go up there and you hack. First pitch you see. And that's what Tampa Bay, the Rays, are going to have to get used to as well, is that short foul territory down on the lines. I mean, those stands jet out, and it's only about a foot from the stands to the line, and that's an easy double anywhere else because that gets down that right field line. And Munguia, he's on 2nd base, but instead the right fielder plays it well, and that's Walker out there and holds him to a single.
Brings up Duke Ellis, who took over in center for Cody Bellinger. And a big swing and a miss, 1-1. check on Munguia at first base with 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th. Riley missing 2 and 1. For those who don't know what Jeff was alluding to there, the fact that the Rays with damage to Tropicana Field because of a hurricane will play their home games at George M. Steinbrenner Field this year and benefit in a variety of ways, but the build-out that they had as we see the chopper over the mound and good hustle there by Duke Ellis to beat it out. There was going to be no play, first and second, 2 away. But the Rays will play all their home games there, so with all the changes made in the offseason, they will be partial beneficiaries of that.
Right, I think it'll help some of their offense as far as power-wise, not playing inside the Tropicana Dome. Really no shot of getting Ellis after that ball hits off the plate. I think the ball will carry a little bit more in the outside confines at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Facilities outstanding what they did for the Yankees in spring training. But the foul territory is very slim down the lines.
Kobe Morales took over for Paul Goldschmidt at first base with 2 away here. Chance to knock in a run with 2 aboard. Oh-2 pitch, a swing and a miss, and O'Brien got him, and that'll do it. The bottom of the 7th. Yanks get a couple aboard, but can't score. 6-0, heading to the 8th.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back. I need more help.
Take a look, take a look.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western.
I was deployed overseas, and it really impacted my liver health. I was missing family moments because I just couldn't find the energy. It turns out that Dose for Your Liver was the change that I needed. It doesn't even feel like I'm taking a supplement because it tastes so good. My wife is asking me where all this energy is coming from. I went from dreading to get out of bed to jumping out of bed. I'm back in the stands, cheering my daughter on, and my culture is full of so many yummy foods that I'm just really glad I can enjoy those with my family again. Nothing's more important to me than showing up for my family, and Dose helps me do just that.
A Verbo is for sharing all kinds of moments. From old bonds to new beginnings. Because with a Verbo, it's always just you, your people, and no one else.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you. Vive como millonario.
Top of the 8th in Tampa, Yankees lead at 6-0. Meredith Marakovitz having a chance to speak with third base coach Luis Rojas earlier. Let's listen to that as Luke and Baker flies out.
I know you've been working a lot with Jason Dominguez out there in left field. Overall, how would you evaluate him so far in this short period of spring?
I mean, he brought up really good shape. So there's been a lot of energy in the workouts and the reps that he's been getting. He showed up on the other side really early, so he worked a lot in Himes with some of the things that he's going to see in left, but nothing simulates a game. Like, I'm glad that we're playing games and he's able to actually get those live reads in games, and but he's been putting a lot of work, just simulating some balls, slices, top spins, backspin, getting to know the wall area, the corners. So he's gathering more and more experience each day. I think he's going to be just fine.
For a guy that's pretty much used to playing center field and the way the ball comes off the bat that way, what's the most difficult thing in learning left field?
Well, yeah, I mean, and you said it right there. It's and the question is just the bat angle. Bat angles are going to be different, you know, when the batter makes contact, so he's going to get some different actions. That's what we try to simulate in his practice. So the angles that he's going to take in his first step to the route, the efficiency of that is going to be important. But he's so athletic that I think him transferring to left field is going to be easy. So he's learning the actions of balls. We saw one the other day where he kind of didn't take the route that we would like him to take, so maybe a little deeper on that one, not knowing if the ball's going to backspin or topspin, and then he went into the right route and ball ended up taking off a little bit. He couldn't get there. It was a tough play, but those are some of the things that we're working with him so he can get, probably more quality reps as far as like route efficiency.
He is such a young guy. Just overall, how do you think he's handled everything this spring? The Yankees have said they'd like him to be the starting left fielder, but obviously that's a lot of pressure to produce.
Well, I mean, you know him, and he's very even keel, he's very coachable, and he brings a lot to the table. Like the athleticism, the speed. That's what an outfield needs to start to be a really good outfield. I mean, I know some guys from the corner infield go to the corner outfield, and it's different than what Jason's doing. This is a center fielder going to left, so all he's doing right now is learning the action of balls, but he's really fun to work with just because of his demeanor. He's very humble. As you guys know, very vulnerable. I think he showed up last year when he didn't make a play at the end of the season. He was talking about, okay, I didn't make that. Showed up the next day, he's working on it. So having that from a young kid, I think, is just what you want as a coach, right? So he's very coachable and working really hard every day.
The outfield plays out the way we expect it to, with Dominguez in left, Bellinger in center, and Judge back in right field. Just what do you think of their ability to cover ground this upcoming season?
We have a little bit more speed in the group. That's something we haven't had as a whole in the last couple of years. So to have that on the defensive side now with Jason, if we start him in left for the regular season, it's just going to make us a better, I'm going to say, athletic team, faster team, which is going to probably lead into playing even better defense than the last couple of years. So I'm really excited just thinking of that ahead. Right now, we're here, we're working hard, we're trying to get better each day, so it's fun.
Spring training for the coaches too, although I know you came in perfect shape, ready to not only go through the drills but throw BP every day, right?
I try to keep up. These guys are in great shape. I just try to do my thing, just have stayed up to speed with them.
Appreciate the time.
Always.
Send it back to you.
Thank you, Meredith. Rob Zastryzny doing a nice job here in the top half of the 8th inning. Gets a couple outs on a fly ball to center and a strikeout. Now trying to get Matt Koperniak out. Interesting to hear Luis Rojas talk about what happened a couple days ago when you and I were calling that game with Jason Dominguez in left, and the route that he took to that ball, that he wished he'd handled that a little differently. So again, the learning process continues.
Yeah, that was that ball in that left center field gap where Bellinger was running across. You're getting used to a new center fielder.
And a ground ball to the right side, 4-3. We'll pick that thought up coming up next as we head to the bottom of the 8th and a 6-0 Yankees lead. Bottom of the 8th at Jim Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, and it's been all Yankees all afternoon against the Cardinals. They lead it 6-0. Ryan Ludis, the latest pitcher in for the Cardinals, 47 games last season at AAA.
Yeah, had a nice ERA at 3.57. Only saw 3 games at the big league level. Didn't give up a run in 2 1/3 of an inning. Gave up 2 hits. Another young prospect for the Cardinals.
Third catcher of the day after Austin Wells and J.C. Escarra. Now it's Omar Martinez in for the Yankees. And looks at a pitch inside, 1-1.
You know what, Dominguez would just finish up what we were talking about last inning. You know, you look at outfielders, and some of them are comfortable playing in shallow, and they want to try to take away the base hit. They feel real comfortable in going back on the baseball. They're like, I want to try to take away the line drive. I can get balls behind me because I have enough speed and I can read it well. With Dominguez, to me, it seems like he's a guy that's going to wind up playing a little deeper. Where he has struggled is the ball behind him. So you may see a lot of balls fall maybe in front of him.
That ball fouled to left, and I'll just use that swing right there as an example. The bat kind of drops, and if that ball is starting in fair territory with the angle of the bat, right, that would have spin towards the stands and left.
Well, especially from a left-handed hitter.
Yeah.
A left-handed hitter going to the left field, the ball's going to tail away from you, tail away more towards the left field line, and that's what you also have to get used to. The line drive straight at you is going to wind up, you're going to wind up staying still and try to read it, not go in too much and all of a sudden have that ball go over your head. That's why I think he winds up playing more of a deeper left field, so he eliminates some of those balls that he can't get to behind him and might be able to get to some baseballs like that one in front of him.
And a swing and a miss there by Martinez, 1 away. Well, Friday night, exclusively on the Gotham Sports app, catch the next spring game from Steinbrenner Field as the Yankees take on the Toronto Blue Jays starting at 6:30 p.m. Remember, this game will only be available live on the Gotham Sports app, so download the app and sign in with your Yes username and password to stream the game. George Lombard Jr. with his second at bat so far in this game. Took over for Volpe at short, was hit by a pitch back in the 6th. You know, the other thing, too, for Dominguez in terms of learning left field, and Luis Rojas brought this up, he's used to center where you have a wall behind you, Nelly, but you have room to roam left and right, whereas if that ball is slicing towards the stands, he's got to think about that wall, about what's coming up.
Right, and a lot of it's a lot more intimidating, and he mentioned game situation is where you learn left field.
Lombard Jr. driving one out to left center field. Caught at the front of the warning track, 2 away.
And also batting practice. You know, you can hit fungos to the outfield all day long. You can put them in the machine and have them hit them in certain directions, but you're not getting the action off the bat. So it's so important that Dominguez, not just during the game, there you see the foul territory and where that wall is. It's a lot more difficult, obviously, there than in a big league park. You're going to have a little bit more foul territory. I think at Yankee Stadium is probably 8 to 10 feet before you hit the line. But taking live BP, being out there in left field and watching the bat, playing it off of the bat in batting practice will help him as well. During the season, you don't really see outfielders shag very often. They may go out and shag for one round, and then they're heading into the dugout and into the locker room, and then you don't see him anymore. For Dominguez, it's so important for him to get all these reps just to become a really good left fielder.
And you would do that probably if you're on the road first game of a series, right? That might be when you'd be out there as an outfielder.
Luis Rojas would take him out there, and every single angle, and actually every outfielder, they'll go out. This may be like Fenway has different angles out there. You know, you go to Milwaukee, they'll have different angles out in that outfield, and you're hitting balls and just getting an idea which way that ball bounces if it does hit off that wall.
Jesus Rodriguez to center field, and a bobble in center field. They couldn't come up with it. Ciani trying to grab it, he didn't, and Jesus Rodriguez is going to end up at third base.
Now that was almost a heck of a play. You watch Torres go back. He gets it right in the edge of his glove. He tries to close it, hits the wall, and bobbles it. That was a lot of ground to cover right there. 2-out triple from Rodriguez.
Good hustle there by Rodriguez as that brings up TJ Rumfield. Grounded to second base in the 6th. Yanks put up a 6 spot in the bottom of the 3rd. Trying to scratch out one more here in the bottom of the 8th with a runner on 3rd and 2 away. Rumfield lifts that one into the seats. One pitch. Rumfield fouls it off 2-2.
When were they saying Aaron Judge might see his first appearance in a game?
They were saying probably not till the weekend or just a little beyond that. That was the first indication, but it was good to see Wells today, and I guess Boone knew that he wanted to work with Will Warren, and they worked great together. Warren had the 3 no-hit innings with 4 strikeouts. That's a hit by pitch just whistled by Rumfield, so 1st and 3rd with 2 away.
Well, this just catches him off of that right shoulder. You can hear it. And then right in, or actually it might have hit that pad on that right elbow.
Sure looked like it did. So Andrew Velasquez with an RBI opportunity. Couple men aboard here in the bottom of the 8th. And cashes in, base hit to right. That'll score the runner from 3rd and give the Yanks a 7-0 lead. Good aggressive hitting by Velasquez. First pitch he sees from Ludus.
Yeah, he's not going to let a fastball go by, and that's exactly what he got up in the zone. He just drills it into right field past the first baseman, Baker. 2-out RBI.
Good production offensively from both the starters and the backups so far in this game. 2 away, runners at 1st and 2nd, and Braden Shoemake grounded to 2nd in the 7th inning. And looks like that nicked him as well. So 2 hit by pitch in the inning. That'll load the bases with 2 away.
Well, trying to come up and in on that 4-seamer. Pretty similar as a Rumfield. Just catches maybe this time up around the shoulder area for him. Yeah, right off of that tricep up around the shoulder for Shoemake.
So a mound visit for the Cardinals. 7-0 game. Impressive all-around game for the Yankees back home today at Steinbrenner Field with the 6 runs in the 3rd. And they just kept putting guys on. And Dominic Smith setting the tone, too, with that leadoff home run, towering out to right field, followed by an out. And then, 6 straight guys reached base.
Yeah, with Dom Smith, who knows what kind of opportunity he's going to get, especially with Stanton being out. He can also play first base if you need it. That was his 2nd home run of the spring.
Bases loaded, 2 away in the bottom of the 8th. Ismael Munguia will be the batter. .93 games between AA and AAA last season. He single down the right field line in the 7th and smacks that one foul down the right field line. Took over in left field for Jason Dominguez. Dominguez going 1 for 3 with an RBI. Munguia looks at a pitch inside, 1-1.
Pitcher's called ball and being challenged by the catcher.
They're challenging on the automatic ball strike call.
You know, these are the time of games, the game of, you have the veterans out, and you figure, okay, the fans are starting to disperse, all the players. You see, it's just outside.
Ball, count as 1-1
inside. But these young players are getting an opportunity to show their kind of skill and open some eyes and show the coaching staff of the Yankees of what they can do. And whenever there's a player needed, say, hey, I remember him in spring training and what he did and how he swung the bat, or how he was in the field or on the mound. And this is their opportunity to say, hey, you know, I may not break with the club, but hopefully at some point I did enough in spring training and I can continue to do it during the season that I might get that call up.
1-2 pitch coming to Munguia. And a grounder to the right side. First baseman will take it himself, and that will do it. Yanks get another one on the board. Cardinals with a 7-0 deficit. One more chance in the top of the 9th.
A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal. With a cheeseburger or 3-piece chicken strips, full-size fries, a drink, and a sundae. You get an honest-to-goodness full meal all for just $7 at DQ.
Key to a perfect family vacation? Separate rooms.
Put the love right on me.
Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western.
As you get older, your liver health becomes an increasingly important part of the aging process. It performs over 500 daily functions and impacts energy levels, digestion, and your body's overall efficiency. We created Dose for your liver to make taking care of your liver easy. Dose is an organic blend of liver-supporting ingredients like turmeric, milk thistle, and more, and is clinically backed to promote healthy liver function. With just 1 serving a day, Dose is a delicious way to support your liver so that nothing's holding you back.
You could book this house with someone else, but with us, you get rewards. Earn 1 key cash with Verbo.
At Spectrum, we believe every day unlocks unlimited possibilities. Spectrum transforms your gaming experience into a galaxy of adventures. And with super reliable internet speeds, you're always front row to the entertainment you love. Switch to Spectrum Internet today.
Only available on the Gotham Sports app.
Let's check out the Citizens' upcoming schedule for the Yankees. 6 straight games coming up. 2 against the Phillies starting tomorrow. That's Thursday at Philly. Then Friday, the game on the Gotham Sports app against the Blue Jays, followed by a game on Saturday against the Astros. Then you saw the Braves and Phils coming up after that. So no break till next Wednesday for the Yankees, as the new pitcher is Leonardo Pestana, who spent time at high A and double A for the Yanks last year.
Yeah, did a really nice job out of the bullpen. Low 2 ERA. There you see that 2.78. Young player getting an opportunity late in the ball game. Fastball, curveball, slider change.
Brian Torres is the batter. Excuse me, Nathan Church is now batting. Spent time at double A last year. And gets a pop-up off the bat of Church. Velasquez gloves it, 1 away.
There's no two hands anymore when guys catch the ball.
Nope. You can almost make it look like you're not using two hands as well. Just sort of an assist right there, but
throw it to the side.
Batter is Jose Barrero for the Cardinals. Castana just missing inside, 1-1. Good cutter away, 1-2.
Played with Jamie Moyer out in Seattle, talk about two hands. And every time the ball was up in the air, he would be yelling as loud as he can. Two hands, two hands.
Ground ball, third. Velasquez foul territory on the first, and Rumfield over there just to glove it. But Barrero aboard here in the ninth.
Almost a heck of a play from Velasquez over there, third. There you see he's playing more towards the shortstop. He goes in that hole, has to throw off balance. Takes Rumfield off the bag.
But Moyer had to make sure every out was out, right?
Oh, exactly. I mean, that's how you were taught when you were little. Two hands. You would be crushed. You would get crushed from your coach if you caught it with one hand.
Velasquez on the second. Do they get the double play? They do. What a way to wrap it up. Velasquez, two terrific defensive plays this afternoon. And that helps the Yankees wrap up a 7-0 win on a midweek matinee at Steinbrenner Field.
Well, he almost made an outstanding play before that one, and that one, a great double play, going to his left, laying out, getting up, and making a strong throw to complete that double play. Outstanding job by Velasquez.
So again, all Yankees this afternoon in the 7-0 win. Let's get to our Audi electric moment. Experience a fully electric Audi vehicle at your local Tri-State Audi dealer today.
No, it's Will Lauren. I don't even know if he needed a shower after this, because only 35 pitches. Did not give up a hit in his 3 innings, struck out 4, did not walk a hitter. Outstanding command of his fastball, climbed the ladder, good slider, even mixed in that curveball. And the changeup to lefties is really going to be a big pitch for him.
3 innings of no-hit baseball, 4 strikeouts. And how do you back up your pitcher when he's pitching well? You hit well. It's part of that big 3rd inning. Our Cadillac drive of the day game is off the bat of Dom Smith.
Now, first pitch fastball upstairs, leading off the 3rd. That's number 2 of the spring. He absolutely crushed it. Who knows what's going to happen with Dom Smith, with Stan being on the IL, probably start the season, could open up a slot for him.
A home run today for Smith, 2 homers in 3 games for him this spring as the Yankees beat the Cardinals 7-0 in 2 hours, 12 minutes. A 10-hit attack for the Yankees, just 3 for the Cardinals as they are shut out and fall to 1-4 this spring. Well, that will do it from George M. Steinbrenner Field. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Michael Cooney, Mike Webb, and our executive producer is Jared Ames Boschnack. Join us again on Friday as the Yankees host the Blue Jays at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. Coverage beginning at 6:30 p.m. exclusively on the Gotham Sports app. Once again, the final score is the Yankees 7 and the St. Louis Cardinals 0. It's great to have you with us. For Jeff Nelson and Meredith Marakovitz, I'm Bob Lorenz. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. We look forward to seeing you next time on Friday. Take care.